Daniel Lippman, he's Politico's White House reporter. He joins us live from here in Washington, D.C. Daniel, great to have you back. So we've seen the president poll low before, but what's significant about these numbers?
Well, it's significant because it shows the toll that the pandemic and the economic lockdown has had on this president. People don't think that he has done a good job handling everything, and they want new leadership. If this virus is going to last into next year, maybe until the summer of next year, many Americans want Joe Biden to take control in mid-January to kind of shepherd America as we get back to work and people go back to normal with their lives once there's a vaccine.
President Trump talked about those job numbers today, and a lot of people are pointing to the V-shaped recovery that we're seeing in this pandemic. Of course, that has meant that there has been more coronavirus cases. But in the grand scheme of things, are Americans more focused on coronavirus cases going up, or are they more encouraged by seeing job numbers, jobs being added back to the economy?
I think it's a mixture of both. Most Americans, they think that there's a balance to be made where you're not completely killing the economy by keeping everything locked down, but at the same time, you don't have huge spikes. I think Americans are resigned to the fact that there will be some spikes, but they don't want people to be dumb in terms of not social distancing. And maybe they think that indoor bars, which has been the cause of many of these spikes, they should not be reopened. That they should focus on getting the schools back and running so that people can actually go back to work because of childcare issues. And so I think Americans would like states to kind of follow those federal standards for how to transition to reopening and those different phases, and then kind of listen to Dr. Fauci on those types of things.
Daniel, it's hard to trust polling after the 2016 election, where numbers showed Trump's then Democratic rival Hillary Clinton poised to win the presidency. Before the pandemic, a lot of people would have said that the president was sure to be reelected. Do you think that that's the case? And if not, what exactly has jeopardized his chances?
I think the 120-something thousand deaths, that has been the biggest blow to his reelection hopes, because with the lockdown leading to tens of millions of American jobs lost, and only now we're starting to see jobs pick up again, but maybe next month will be tougher because reopening will have been paused in many states to prevent spikes. That President Trump is seen as having underplayed the risks of the virus early on. He said it would go away magically, and even today he says that this thing will just disappear, which is actually, it will disappear, but not with until we get a vaccine. And so his lack of discipline on the messaging, plus him refusing to wear a mask.
I feel like those are all of the arguments that we consistently hear from the left. I mean, do you see any, you cover the White House extensively, do you see any political strategy to the way that Trump has responded to these protests and the pandemic? In other words, is there a play that we're not seeing on the field here that gives him a path to victory in November?
The only path to victory would be if the economy just shoots up much more than is expected. But his base is shrinking. That's not a kind of a leftist argument. It's more like the numbers just don't work. And a number of his millions of his people who voted for him last time around, a few million of those are thinking seriously of not voting for him this time, because they've seen the last couple of years, and while they gave Trump a chance, some of those suburban women or those independent voters, disaffected Democrats, they are flocking more towards Joe Biden. The numbers are just looking terrible, including the internal polls, which is, Republicans, when they do the polls themselves, they don't look good either.
Well, it seems that those blue collar workers in the Rust Belt who Trump won over in 2016, those are a lot of the people that have been wanting to get back to work during this pandemic. But we're going to have a lot more to unpack. Tomorrow will be exactly 4 months to the general election. Daniel Lippman, thanks for coming on.